We have a full-timers session, so one of you wants to start? Manvi. We also have
Duji, your voice is little low for me.
Okay. Go ahead, Manvi, please.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Manvi. I'm from Delhi. And me and my husband, my 3.5-year-old son, we live in Delhi currently. And our homeschooling journey officially began last year, sometime last year, late last year. And so far, loving it. And I'm actually rediscovering myself as a person, as an open learner, as I go along, trying to figure out what open learning actually is for my son. It's amazing the journey my husband as well as me, we are going through it. It's not ceasing to amaze me at every step. And I'm not officially a part of Aarohi yet, but soon going to be, surely. Loving to attend these meetings, learning so much, learning really a lot. And my perspectives are getting challenged every Saturday that I come to attend the meeting. My perspective gets challenged and I'm like, okay, so that's about us, that's about me.
Thanks, Manvi.
Thank you, Manvi.
Duji, your voice is breaking for me at least. Meanwhile, somebody has logged in as Oppo Reno 3 Pro. Please rename it to your name. And
yeah, I'm trying. I'm Jolly.
Okay, hi Jolly. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay,
Yeah,
no
hello.
problem. Take your
Yes,
time.
I'm trying. I'm doing it.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. And yeah. Okay, so thanks, Manvi. Who wants to go next? Geetashri, you want to introduce?
Hi, I'm from Bombay, and my daughters, I have twins, and they're 9-year-olds, and they study in Trida, a Waldorf school. So I came to know about this through Amit Shah, who is a regular visitor at Aarohi. So Trida has molded my parenting style. I never knew freedom could do wonders. We've been raised in a very conservative environment where we've heard of only no's and no's, didn't know. And because they felt like we can't handle freedom, but freedom is very beautiful. It is, we are scared to explore. But Frida gave me the courage to give freedom to my children. I have seen, like, there are bouts of interest in a child. Sometimes they want to do painting all the time, and they're totally absorbed in the work. And sometimes they want to do reading, so they keep on, they are into that reading thing for days. Sometimes they want to do stitching. So when they do this work with interest, the learning is, it's total learning. So that is the kind of experience that I am looking forward to at Aarohi. So that is my purpose of bringing my children there. Thank you.
Yes, Tavana, please go ahead.
Oh, hi. Hi, I've been here before, and I was also a part of the Jagriti training program, but I have been missing out on a lot of sessions. So now I'm back, hopefully, and I'll be attending the whole thing. I have a son. He's 1.5 years old. And I have been very inspired by this Montessori method of education, which seeks out on the developmentally appropriate methods of teaching, I guess I would say. And because I plan to homeschool my child, I've been searching for ways how can I provide the best of things. And that quest has led me to Aarohi, I would say. And that's what's I'm here. That's what is that's what I want to learn from here. Yeah. Ratnesh is muted, I think. I can't hear him.
Yeah, hi. Shikha has also joined. Joyly, would you like to quickly pitch in with your introduction? And we also have Surna Selvi. I hope I've got the name right. If more people can come on video, we also get a video connect if that is possible. If not possible, that's okay. It's not like compulsory. Yeah, would somebody else like to share? Shikha, Jolly, just 1 or 2 lines about you. Duji, you want to pitch in?
I guess I'll go next. Hi everyone, my name is Dviji. I'm a parent of a almost 12-year-old, and we've been part of the Aarohi community for almost 4 years now, and 3 to 4 years. And I've been an open learner longer than that, and Aarohi has given me the language and the words to articulate and share a lot of things that I do. I did and I do. So it's been fun, and very happy to be part of this already 8 people group today, and look forward to a lovely discussion today as well.
Thank you. Yeah, Shikha. Yeah, go ahead, Shikha.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Shikha Johar from Bhopal. I'm from Bhopal, and we are doing homeschooling for my son. He's 10 years old from last 1 year. Yeah, learning a lot with him. Now, actually, first few months were very much difficult for us, but now, like I have joined Aarohi also. So yeah, I'm relaxed, a bit relaxed now. I can say that after 5-6 sessions I've been in this Aarohi. So yeah, from last 2-3 weeks I'm relaxed and actually enjoying.
Thanks, Shikha. Who else would like to share? Sorna Selvi, would you like to also come on mic, video?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Myself is Sorna. I have a mixed twins. I am looking for the preschool. That's why I got the link ID. I'm joining that.
Your voice is not very clear, but I assume either you're moving somewhere or the mic is at least moving somewhere.
Sorry, sir.
No, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. You don't need to call anybody sir here. Everybody has a name, so to say. You can call me Ratnesh very simply. Okay. So how old is your child?
They are 3.5 years, 3.8 months, 3 years and 8 months now. They're going to be 4 by May.
And when you say they, are they twins?
Yeah, they are twins, mixed twins, one boy and one girl.
Vijay, this year has been a year of twins. Every meetup we have at least minimum one parent with twins.
I guess if Rachna comes here, then we'll have 3 twins. Nitishri and then Swarnasri will be, and yeah. Anyway, yeah, good. Nice to hear from you, and welcome to the Saturday meetup, Swarna.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, hi. My name is Shanmuga Sundaram, and I'm Sona's spouse. Hello. Yeah.
Welcome,
Nice,
welcome.
nice to actually, meet everyone.
Great. Right. At any time, if you're comfortable, just on your video so that we get a visual connect, name to face to name. Okay. Jolly, would you like to quickly share?
Yes. Hello everyone, I'm Jolly. I'm from Hyderabad and a mother to a 3.5-year-old. And I'm new to Aarohi. Yes, hello.
Yeah.
Manvi said, yeah, I'm not yet a member of the community, but I'll soon be a member. And these Saturdays meets are really, really like it's my time. My time and the time that I am investing for my kid also. It's a for a long time after my childbirth, I have not been connected to the outer world, to be honest. Yeah.
Sure.
So I have again found my space and the people, and I'm enjoying and I'm learning. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Did we miss anybody's introduction other than mine? Are we done? Okay, so I will. So I'm Ratnesh, and I have two children. My daughter is 23 and been an open learner throughout. No 10th, 12th, no college, nothing. She's just enjoying her life completely and doing lots of different things. And my son is 17. He has also never been to a school ever. And he's totally enjoying one thing, which is football. So my daughter is one side, a complete, you can call her a butterfly, goes explores so many different things. My son is totally focused on just one thing. So one is in the bee category, one is in the butterfly category. As usual, when it happens, when you have two children, typically they are very different from each other. But that's not a rule. It's just a okay, so that's my background. And obviously right now I'm in Aarohi campus, which is about 50 kilometers from Bangalore, but it lies in Tamil Nadu in a village. Okay, so I'll take about 7-8 minutes to run through this presentation. And I was just thinking today that this same this is, Dviji reminded me, it's a 96th open learning meetup. So it's the same presentation I've been running for 96. And I was thinking, should I change this? As I'll wait for 4 more, let it have a century, then I will change it. But what caught my eye today as I was thinking about this presentation is the opening visual, which I never talk about. Yeah. So today is the first time I want to talk about this visual. Why did I choose this particular visual? And to me, it kind of in many different ways captures the essence of what open learning is all about. But most importantly, a lot of us as parents are caught up with the future. When I look at this picture, I see a bunch of kids having a great joy in their life. And to me, a lot of people ask, future mein kya hoga? What about career? What about this? What about, a lot of future related question. And I say open learning isn't about future. It's about now. Can I have my first, let's say, whatever you call as childhood, let's say 25 years. Can I have the first 20 years of my 25 years of life fully joyful, living from inside out, living from within me, not living in any which way dictated by everybody else rather than from inside? Because anyway, if I have to do work and do things dictated by, let's say, responsibilities and other things, so then let me do that in the next 25 years. But let me first live the first 25 years purely out of joy. And I guess if I do that with a lot of joy and passion and compassion and togetherness, which is what again the visual is. It's not just one child having joy, it's all together having a lot of joy from doing what they like doing. I think then that is what it is all about. It's not about some future thing. Personally, I think future just unfolds itself rather than we trying to kind of design it or plan it too much. And so that is why. The other thing about this opening slide is that these words are all broken up right? So open learning isn't about one thing. It isn't about laid out like this is it. It's all hodgepodge. It's all broken up. It has gaps here, there. It's not one. There is no one correct way of doing it, right? I think that's also very important to understand, because it is open. It is all over the place, right? And yeah, so this slide actually captures quite a lot. And I just thought today I will share that we haven't been really using this slide to its rightful use. Okay, so having given that, I think the rest of the presentation may not sound as good. Okay, so very quickly, yeah, so there are different terms people use. Somebody uses unschooling, homeschooling, preschooling, blah, blah, blah. We say that's all right. Just go ahead and use whatever term you want to use, and don't get caught up with these terms, because it's all about how much openness you want to offer to a child and how much, let's say, curriculum driven you want the child to be. And the child can move along this continuum, or even within a day or a month or a year have parts of this and parts of that, depending on whatever the child wants or the family wants, right? So just again, I often give example of my son who is into football. It's not that he is totally open structure, because when he goes for his coaching of football in his club, obviously the club does the structured kind of a coaching. So to that extent, it is structured. His that much 2.5 hours of his every day is kind of structured in football coaching. So like that, it becomes. So structure need not be only a school or a college driven. It can be in any which way. Yeah. So, but the idea is, where do we want to be at any point, and we can keep changing. That's the beauty of open learning, to look at life as a lot of options. Just a quick historical thing. We started by thinking, what is the purpose of education, say about 20 years back. And we were not very happy with this whole way of looking at least the way we perceive world is looking at in terms of job, career, future. We thought it's all about here and now. It's to live, right? Perhaps this slide and the first slide is very similar in its essence, the visual actually. If that is to be, if I have to live my life, then I have to be the leader. Now, somehow this leadership is taken away from the child after, let's say, first few years. When a child is 1 year, 2 year, the child is a natural leader. He decides when to eat, when to sleep, when to play, with what to play, with whom to play, etc., etc. He or she. But as we go along, we say, no, the school will lead you, you just follow. So in open learning, we say, no, you can continue to be the leader of your life. And that is the beauty of it. And when we are the leader, the child is the leader, then there is no need to teach the child. Sorry, wait, I skipped the first thing. There's no need to bind the child with any curriculum, because we think the whole world is a beautiful curriculum. Everything that is available to us, right from embroidery to rocket science, everything is beautiful. And the child can literally choose what the child wants to learn at a particular time, right? Like somebody was mentioning that I think Geetashri was mentioning, at 9 years, they have so many interests. That's precisely the point. So that's the curriculum for them. So many interests. Maybe it will continue like that, or maybe it will become a shorter list. We don't know, right? But that's their life. Yeah. And when it's their life, they can think how they want to learn, whether they want to go to a YouTube video, whether they want to go to a person, whether they want to just do things and learn it that way, or whether they want to actually, go to a book or anything, any structure, even a course for that matter. So, but they decide how and how much and they want to learn, and not just how much, but how well they want to learn something. So there's a lot of self-assessment, self-reflection as part of open learning. We give fair importance to this whole process of self-reflection, because that is what is life. You live your day, you kind of reflect back, and then you live your next day, you again reflect back, and you plan your next week, and so on. So that's how life in general is. Yeah. And finally, we also realize life is about options, not about saying, oh, everybody has to go to school or has to go to college. College is good, school is good, but so is when you don't go to college, school, you either self-learn or you learn through apprenticeships or internships or open courses or volunteering or so many other ways, or just by doing, as simple as that. Yeah. So these are the 4 aspects. No, we don't need curriculum. We don't need teaching per se. We don't need assessment. We don't need school, college as an imposition. And if we remove all of this, then what we are left with a child who can now truly lead himself. Obviously, not leave himself alone, but lead with this togetherness, which we will talk about today in more detail. But before that, a quick video of how children look at themselves. So this is a video of children sharing their interests at that moment, not thinking about necessarily about future. Let's watch.
Connecting with people is amazing.
I like chit-chatting with my friends while eating.
An opportunity to take all the guests around the tour, around the campus.
Currently, I'm working on improving myself so that I can play in a club next year.
I get resources and support to fulfill my passion for sketching.
I sketch many things of animals, birds.
In Aarohi, I'm a guest and I can find my space here, pursuing my interest on upcycling.
I drum to express my emotion and it makes me feel lighter. In bird watching, I learn a lot of things. What is color of bird, and
I like the time when I spend with the community playing sports.
I spend time doing projects related to cinematography and video editing.
I like organizing trips in Aarohi क्योंकि your opportunity is to organize trips.
video making is awesome. It's productive and you get an awesome outcome.
I like to do electrical work. I've put many.
I connect with the planning here, gives me clarity.
I like playing with the cats. I learn crochet and teach others crochet.
All the resources here are new to me to explore.
Right. So as I was saying, that is open learning, what we talked about till now, and what Aarohi does it, or rather we all in Aarohi believe is that when we all get together, it becomes that much more richer. So, we kind of, that's what Aarohi is. It's a community of families who connect based on different interests. So children, adults, all ages, they would connect with each other based on their interest. Not everybody connects with everybody, but everybody can connect with somebody or the other. And then they start collaborating. People do theater together, people do music together, people can do astronomy together and so on. So different collaborations happens again based on interest. A lot of mentoring, supporting happens, not just from adults to children, but children to children, even children to adults in different ways, in different flavors for different learnings. And the whole idea obviously is to kind of co-create the whole journey, much like how these geese fly in the sky. Again, I don't talk about the visuals, Dwiji, a lot. Today I somehow, so this geese, the V formation is famous for doing it together, from co-creating that flying journey that they go on. There's no one leader keeps changing. And we have just been, me, Dwiji, and a whole host of 16 of us went for a trek, 3-day trek this week. We're just back from it today morning. And it was so amazing because everybody was a leader of something. And it was truly, I really enjoyed that part the most because everybody had some leadership as part. There was no one trek leader. The whole group was the leader of different aspects of a fairly tough trek as it is known. So anyway, so that's what open learning is all about. It's about co-creating. It's not about us leading the children or even doing things for children. It's not like we are at a, let that I need to make the environment rich for the child. No. How about we both making the environment for each other, right? For togetherness. That to me is more interesting because then the onus is on togetherness, right? So Vijay, I'm kind of trying to dovetail into your themes. Over to you to kind of take it from here.
Every week we have a theme for the discussion in the meetup, and today's theme, as some of you might have noticed, is doing it together. So like Ratnesh was saying, it's about co-creating, and the co-creation is not just about an adult giving time to the child, rather the adult engaging in their own learning actively, and therefore giving an opportunity to not just the children in their own family, but everyone in the community to see how the process of learning is happening in Ratnesh's life, in my life, in Ibani's life, in Shreya's life, everybody else's lives, so that it's not just about hey, this is how you do that. No, it's not that. It's more about this is how I did, this is how Ratnesh does it, this is how Manvi does it, this is how etc. does it, right? So the idea is that each of us does things, and by sharing how we are doing things and by doing things together, we are providing an opportunity to each other as well as to everyone in the community to mimic, like Ratnesh kept going back to the visuals. So in some sense you will see this a lot in the animal world, where they just look around how things are being done by others around them. And why just animal world, even in the human world, whether it's in our personal lives or in our professional lives, we observe this a lot among children, infants especially, about how I do this and my child also does this, right? But if you think about it, in our professional lives, I mean, all our engineering and other things are just there, but what we really learn is on the job. What is on the job learning? I would say about 80% of on the job learning is seeing how others are doing it and doing it. So we are trying to say that, it's not, learning is not about a formula or a curriculum. It's about doing things and doing it in such a way that those around you can see how you're doing it and learning from them, as well as sharing your own learnings. So that's what we mean by open learning, self-directed learning, where even though it is directed by oneself, it's not that it's isolated. It's about doing it together. So that's the theme for today's discussion. And I would like to request all 7, other than Ratnesh and me, to share. Of course, we will be talking. I mean, you can't stop us from talking, but we will try to control ourselves. And we would love to hear, like Ratnesh said, we are all bubbling with experiences which are like totally fresh in our memory of the past 4 days of doing so many things together. So we would love to hear your experiences of doing it, and doing it in, and about this whole idea of mimicking. I mean, somehow it's got a negative connotation, and I totally don't think mimicking is a bad thing. Mimicking is like the best thing possible. There are better things, but yeah. So please unmute yourself if you'd like to talk, or if you would rather share through messages, you're welcome to type in the chat window. But we would like to hear and talk a little more and take this conversation further. Thanks. So waiting to hear from you. Thanks doesn't mean that. Yeah.
I want to say something about the introduction that Ratneshji did na, about the this first slide. So you said something about that open learning is not about the future. That thing just it stuck with me, because I realized not open learning but any learning actually is not about the future. Whatever we have done, we have come from traditional, so-called traditional conventional schooling and stuff. It doesn't guarantee any future. Our future is determined by whatever we are doing. We are actually living in the present. And but coming back to this discussion of today, I totally understand, because I was just reflecting on it some weeks ago. Me and my husband, we were discussing something, and we were remembering how our son learned to eat and how our son learned to walk. We never actually taught him to walk, we never taught him to eat. He was just looking around and he realized, okay, this is, I have to pick up. He eats with a spoon. I've never ever eaten with I never taught him to eat with a spoon. We are basically rice eaters mostly. Kashmir, we are from Kashmir, so Kashmiris are mostly rice eaters. So we eat with our hands, but he has to use a spoon. I never taught him. Maybe sometime he must have seen, or maybe in the nursery rhymes and all. So mimicking is actually no doubt an important part of learning. And And yeah, actually, I do understand what Dviji said, that it has got a negative connotation. I also perhaps sometimes think that he shouldn't be mimicking me, because it's scary also. It's scary because what if the child is mimicking something which I don't want him to mimic in me? I myself don't like it in me, and he's going to mimic it. But you cannot stop it. Learning bad things is important thing for learning, because only if we learn those things we can unlearn them in the future, you know. I don't know if it makes sense what I just said, but so
Nice, nice. Yeah. Yep, we can have more thoughts. If you have questions, we can have questions. So we'll keep the questions about Aarohi specific questions towards the end. Let's more talk about open learning and learning together. And yeah, what Vijay said is mimicking in learning, whatever terminology, Vijay, it's more called modeling, a little more respectable term. Where you model, whether you model others or model nature or whatever you want to model. Not exactly about modeling, but one of the benefits of being together. I'm not even talking about learning together. I'm talking about being together that I have experienced is what I call as collateral learning, or what is not I call it, technically called as collateral learning, where I learn something because somebody is doing that in my let's say vision or in around me. So let's say somebody is let's say learning a song in my surrounding and singing it loud. Now I pick up that song and I start humming it, and I learn that song because somebody else is learning that song, or at least forget learning, singing that song. So that's one simple example of collateral learning. Or I learn about different foods just because different people from different, let's say, cultures bring in different food to my table. And then because I'm eating them, I get to know about, oh, this also, that also. Okay, okay, okay. So I get to learn about different foods, and after some years I realized they've become staple of my my eating menu, which was not there 10 years back. And that's only because there were so many people whom I was dining with, rather than just dining with one, rather myself, if I'm so like that. So collateral learning is amazing, and I think that's something that I really enjoy. And I can only say that I've been really lucky, because I've always been with a whole bunch of kids. Last almost 20 years, I've been always with a whole bunch of kids. So there's always something happening. Somebody's up to something. And every little bit adds to my own learning. Yeah, Gitashri.
So, this thing about children observing adults around, like I am Montessori trained, so my trainer always used to tell us that you don't tell the child what is to be done. You do your things right, and the child will follow you. So we've tried our best to do that, though my husband is not he doesn't understand all this, but still one thing that he did, I am very grateful to him for that. I never knew that he was very good at drawing. Only after children, like he was so occupied with his work, he never did get back to his interest. So when children were around 2, 3, he would just sit with children. He would give them sheets of paper. They would not say anything, no discussions, no directions given. He used to do his own drawings, and children would do their own drawings. And he is very good at copying something exactly down. He's not into like drawing out of imagination, but when it's like copying something exactly down, he does it. He's not trained. It's just that he had the drive to do something best. And that is what now, and children when they were 2 or 3, they would cry that how is it that your drawing is so good and you are not able to manage, and they would flip and cry. But now I think my husband cribs and cries that his drawing is not so great. So so now they are very good. Even now, even at this age, haven't done something like they do. They are excellent at artwork. And even when I learn an art, I don't teach them something. I just do my own work, and if they want to get involved, I leave it to them and I allow them to explore. So you've just surrounded the environment, made the environment rich, given them a rich environment, and many things are there at home, so they are allowed to explore. One more thing that children silently follow their parents. Like my husband, if something breaks down at home, he first doesn't think of buying a replacement, but repairing it. So one of my daughters has got that. She doesn't even tell me something is broken, and the next moment I'm seeing it's fixed. And I know that, and he's like, he'll find if something is broken and the piece is missing, he'll find something which will fit in that place. And she has, it's very surprising to see. I never knew that she's following that, that skill. And very, I agree that, but though, as Manvi said, there are many things that we do and we don't want our children to copy that. It's very difficult to control that. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Geeta, were you meaning for you to control doing that or for them to not do that?
Like, obviously, if I do that, it's likely that they would copy me. Like I remember when.
So my question, Geeta, is what is the difficult part?
See, habits are very hard to let go. I'll give you an example. When my daughter's teacher asked her to describe your mother, so she could think of only one sentence, and she said that my mother is very funny. So that is the way she described me. Wow. And then she said that, and then she didn't write it down, but she said, and she gets angry over small things. So this is. So one of it, I would like them to have a good sense of humor, but at the same time not get mad like me over things. But it's difficult.
So that's interesting, Geeta, because in open learning, we want them to get angry also. Because we don't think that anger is wrong. In open learning, we embrace everything. In the sense, we don't classify things typically as wrong, right? Because the moment we do that, then it's no more open. You realize that? Then it's already, see, if I want, for example, my child not to get angry and be always, let's say, peaceful and calm, then how is it open? Then it's already defined what I want the child to be. Now there's already a curriculum, you see? I've already put a curriculum of not angry, always calm, right? And that is no more open learning. That means being angry is wrong, right? Which is not true. So the whole idea of open learning is to expand it so much that everything which is from this horizon to that horizon and whatever, north, south, east, west, everything that comes under it is absolutely fine, which is where no interests are low or high. You know, whether somebody is doing physics on one corner and somebody is playing a game out of pebbles in one corner, both are equal, right? Another one is angry and another one is calm, both are equal. And when we can do that, not it's when, I'm saying it happens when we are all together, that I would say is the most open environment. And it's a great fun environment because then I am also free to be me. I don't need to be an ideal me, which is without anger and only with calmness, right? Then I'm also open and I'm open with my anger and I show full my anger. And then I invite children to reflect on my anger and say how bad I was or how good I was. And children can say, and today, uncle, you were 1 out of 10 or whatever, right? You were pathetic, right? And when children can say that to me and I can say that to children and they can say that to each other and everybody can say like that, then the togetherness helps us understand our anger, not necessarily shoo it away. or rather use our anger. I would even go to that extent. So that's how we look at open learning.
Actually, the thing is that for 26 years of my life, I've lived in a closed learning. Past few years, trying to unlearn what I had learned, learning a lot with my children who make me push my boundaries. They have taken what they wanted to take. They have taught me parenting. So trying to let go those habits.
Sure. Completely with you.
And I just want to add, trust me, Geeta, it's very difficult. After when you are in one thing now for so many years and suddenly you want to change for your kids now, it's really, really difficult. Few months, though, it was like, for me, it was like whether I've done it right or not. But now, after 1 year, it's a lot of change in my son. And but one thing is also there, ki not always the child see what the parents are doing. Actually, I don't know at what age, but my son, rather than following us, he follows more of the outer people. Right? If that person is doing something, he'll catch it more faster than what I am doing or what his father is doing. I think we will be the last one whom he will follow. So that is one problem actually I'm following. I want that he should follow me or his father, but now he's following other outside people. You look, he has done this, so I will also.
He's following himself. He's choosing whom to follow, and maybe he's following something from you and something from, let's say, a movie character and something from another person and so on, which is how we all are, I guess.
Right? That reminds me, in our childhood days, I think still many people follow that. We would be told a story and then they would ask, what is the moral of the story? And then we would say something, say, no, this is not the moral of the story. Moral of the story is this. But I learned through my the trainings that I have taken or the workshops that I have attended, that each child would have their own understanding of the story, and it's better to leave it open. Still, like, I take language programs, so parents tell me that you never say the moral of the story. So it's very, like, every time you have to explain them why it's you don't pinpoint on the moral of the story. A child might have his own interest, he might have his own calling through which he gets attracted, to which he gets attracted.
And I want to add something to the moral of the story that I have realized in my life. Even the stories that are new as a child, as I'm growing, perhaps every 2-3 years, my perspective about the same story has actually changed. So that's the moral has changed, or what is the story teaching me, that itself has changed. Every year I realize that last year I was thinking this, but this is also another perspective of the same story. So every child is, anyway, I as an individual, I'm having so many perspectives. Every year they are changing. So a child is definitely different. Children are going to have different perspectives, no doubt.
Okay, we have more people. We have Chaitra who has joined in, and more people who are not necessarily on video. Some of the people on video are talking. So just inviting others, either come on video and talk, or even without video talk, just join in with whatever are your thoughts. If you have questions about open learning, even if it's about future, don't worry about it. I started by saying it's not about future, but that's okay. You can still have questions. So any questions are most welcome, especially if you are new to open learning. Then there are a lot of, let's call it, initial questions that we all get. So that's absolutely fine. So go ahead, please share, please ask, just inviting everybody. And if you can't come on mic, you can also type in chat and we can take up if you have a thought or a question.
Ratneshi, I would like to ask, can you share your journey, like when you realize that you want this, or were you always in this field, or like you moved to a village and this whole journey? Can you share your journey a little bit?
Okay, so I'll very quickly share one small but interesting turning point. So my daughter initially did go to school and she was in 4th standard and she would get A+ in everything. Yeah. So now that is a bad news. That's a terrible news, isn't it? If your child is getting A+ in everything, is that a good news or a bad news? I don't know what you think. Tuji thinks it's a bad news. What about others? Okay, Shika also says thumbs down to it. Exactly. So it was a terrible news. What is this? What kind of a place is she going if she's getting A+ in everything? How can somebody be A+ in everything? That means either things are not challenging enough or she has figured out a way to get A+ in everything. You know what I mean? So that was the time we started questioning, where are we sending our daughter so that she's able to get A+? We want her to fail. I mean, that's the most important thing to do in life. Who wants success? We want failure. So we said, okay, enough of A+. Let's pull her out of the school. And when we went to meet her principal, she was like, oh, why are you taking her out? She's like one of the, teacher's pet kind of. So we said, yeah, we didn't tell her the real reason. We just said, no, thank you. But that's where we started our journey with our daughter. And obviously, since we were already working with children, that got extended to more children joining her. And that's where we formed Aarohi. After a couple of years of doing open learning just with her, then we formed a small group of 11 kids, and the rest has been flowing since then. So yeah, sometimes what looks like bad news is actually good news, and what looks like good news can not necessarily be good news. Right? It depends on which angle we look at it. So that's where we started. Dviji, you can share your journey, where you started, in case of your child at least, not your open journey. That I have heard.
Yeah. Actually, like I said in my introduction, my open learning started way before my child was born. As in, I didn't let. I'm a classic case of that. Don't let your schooling spoil your education kind of person. So I did a lot of schooling, but at the same time, I was doing a lot of other things in parallel. And luckily, my parents were either given up on me or, they were quite happy with it. And sometimes it was both. They had both given up and were happy with the fact that I was not doing certain things and doing certain things. So in that sense, that's how my journey started. And with Ibani, very similar to Asavri. Ibani is our daughter, and she went to a conventional school for about 3 years, the pre-KG, when she was just playing. And then once the curriculum thing started, it became quite clear that she was acing it, not just acing it, but she was also becoming like the model child for everyone to emulate. And we felt that was not the right kind of setting where, and also because both Sudha and I work with on our own things and don't follow curriculum, and work with communities which are not necessarily using the same languages and tools that we use. So and there's a lot of mutual respect between what we do and who we work with, which was not the way it was working out in school. So we decided to get her out of school. I think she went to about 2 months of first standard, and that's all the school that she has seen. After that, she has been with different age groups, different cohorts, different learning centers, and has been with the Aarohi community for about 3 years now, 3+ years now. And it's not been a very smooth ride, let me be very frank with you, because she is a very different kind of person. She lives a very different kind of life when compared to the other Aarohians too. And in some sense, she has been trying to discover herself. and her equation with everyone around her. And kind of having complicated parents like us has made it even more difficult for her. And but it's been a fun ride for everyone, I feel. And time will tell. Anyway, she's going to curse us, that she already does. But it's been fun. We are having a lot of fun doing what we are doing, and also not doing what we feel we shouldn't be doing. So yeah,
I think that's even more important. Not doing what we shouldn't be doing, right? Should not be doing. Yeah, a lot of times we end up just doing things because let's say the rest of the world is doing, and a large portion of our time and energy goes into that. Absolutely. Thanks, Dwiji. Again, on record, out of the 96 sessions, this is the first time you are sharing this. No, before you have shared? Okay. Given. Okay, more thoughts, questions. We have more people and anybody here, actually. Yeah, it's all open.
Hi, Tahura here.
Yeah,
so
Tahura.
when we're talking about open learning, and we're talking about not putting them in the conventional education system, that's what we're talking, right?
Yeah.
So can these both things ever go hand in hand? Like you send the child to school, but at home it's okay. We're not very strict about stuff and we're open to whatever they're learning. At home, we're just giving them opportunities. Would that hamper the kid in some, the goal that we're having in open learning?
So let me give you a kind of an analogy. So first of all, let's not look at anything as hampering. We are not trying to say schools are bad or colleges are bad, not at all. We're just saying they are one option. Yeah. One of the I have many analogies, but one of the analogies I like is when you go for holiday, which you plan and you keep changing your plans. You go to one beach and you like it so much that you ditch all your other plans and whole day spend on the beach, as compared to you joining a conducted tour where they say 2 hours on this beach, then we are going to church, then they take you somewhere, then you take. We've all, I guess, at some point or the other, been part of a very conducted tour where they decide, they means whoever is conducting it. So I hope you get the analogy. Now, it's not that when you do a conducted tour, you are in that sense hampering. I don't want to put conducted tours as negative in any which way, but yeah, it has its own whatever. So I hope you get the analogy. So it's the same thing that when you say that, can my child be in school as well as do open learning? I mean, sure, why not? You see how it goes for you, but do realize at every point of time that anything which has its structured, which is driven by somebody else, will have those limitations in that sense. For example, one of the limitation becomes time. Now, when the child is in school or college, a lot of time goes in various aspects of what schools and colleges demand from you in terms of, let's say, homework, projects, curriculum, classes, even teachers for that matter. I mean, you don't have a choice of a teacher. If that is your maths teacher, that is your maths teacher, at least for that hour. Right? But in open learning, if she doesn't like to learn from her dad, she will tell me, Dad, you are horrible in teaching math. I'm going to somebody else, which is fine, if at all she wants to learn maths. So what I'm trying to say is that the flexibility reduces, but yeah, as I said, there is no one right way of doing it, and you can see how you want to mix and match.
Yeah. Okay.
And one of our friends here in the community, Tahura, had said this very nicely in an earlier meetup, and we keep using it, that everyone is an open learner during the weekends. Even those who are going to a regular school, even those who work in a conventional job, and everyone is an open learner during the weekends, because you have to plan what you do, and then you do, and then you think, okay, what did I do? How did I do? How can I do it differently? Right? So open learning is not about education. Let's be very clear about that. Yeah. It's not about schooling or learning. Schooling is schooling. Whether you do schooling or not, learning is happening. Right? So they will be doing things, children will be doing things, children will be learning things, whether you send them to school or not send them to school. And the other thing that I would like to emphasize is that open learning is a philosophy of life. So it's not just that it's just about how do I learn math tables or embroidery or physics formulae or playing soccer, right? It's not about how I can achieve something. It's more about how do I live? What do I value? What do I work for? Where do I give up? What do I persist on? And all those various things that make up our lives. So it's a life journey. So open learning is not about schooling. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point. Yeah, it's not about education, it's about living. Absolutely.
Tahura, please ask a follow-up question.
Yes. I'm processing. it's yes.
Jolly has been quiet today, and Chika did speak a little. Chaitra, if you would like to, and I think we have lost Sorna and I forgot her husband's name. Yeah.
Somshekhar, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Som Sundaram, sorry. Yeah, we lost them somewhere. I think they were on road. Yeah.
Look like it. Yeah.
Chaitra, would you like to say hi to the group? If you can come. Yeah, hi, Chaitra. I think you're muted. Chaitra, you're on mute.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I heard about the school recently by one of my friends. So just Googled it, and this is my first session. So I'm a little bit quiet.
Sure.
Let me hear. This is a new concept of making a children growth. We also absolutely like every school, every children. We also get some negative feedback and positive feedback about our children from their teachers. And till now, I thought it is a common way. Now I'm getting different opinion and different feeling. Let me share the thing in next session.
Surely. Yeah. Please take your time. That's why we are there every Saturday. And also that's why we record each one of them, and each one of them is there on YouTube. So you can also go back, listen to more, so that you don't have to necessarily only wait for the Saturday. You can explore more thoughts by different, and that's the beauty, different people come in. Which in some way, these meetups are all about togetherness, isn't it? So many people we have interacted with. I think, I don't know about everybody else. I have learned more from everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, in that sense, it's just reminds me of one thing, that we always feel that we do this. Parent-child interaction is for the benefit of the child. Somehow there is this set concept that you do it for the child. And when we look back and what we practice, we as in the Aarohi community, we are very clear that we are all very selfish beings. We are conducting these sessions so that we can get a lot of gyan from all of you. And, we are like harvesters. We are always cultivating and harvesting things. So when we are growing something, we are not growing to feed someone else, whether it is our children or someone else in the community. We are doing it because we want that information. We want that experience. We want that, knowledge. We would like to learn from anyone and everyone we can interact with. Even if you're just looking at open learning as, what the hell is this thing? What are these people doing? We would like to hear from you and understand what is it that you are coming with, and how is it that we can use what your thoughts are, what your experiences are. So even if you feel that, this is not the right way to do things, do share your thoughts. Please feel free, because we don't necessarily, we are not trying to, what shall I say, impress you with open learning.
Yeah.
I want to share something here. Two things. One thing is, we were talking about failure. Like Ratneji said, failure as a precursor to your decision. You wanted a little bit of failure also in the daughter's life, so that she actually gets challenged and understands what is, she gets more challenged. And I realized something, that before actually understanding about open learning, the only time I had heard about homeschooling is with those parents who felt their children were having trouble studying in school. So let's say they were having any kind of learning disability, etc. And I realized that we actually take failure as not a stepping stone to learning. And that is, I myself actually, I would say that when I'm excelling at something, I feel good that, okay, this is going good, without realizing that if I'm only excelling, where am I growing? I'm not growing. I did not actually realize it earlier. And also my parents also, because they're very uncomfortable with this whole thing that I'm doing, so they keep on suggesting me that, okay, you put him in a school and you don't be strict at all at home. But I tell them the same thing, that what you said, that if I put him in a school, whether or not I'm strict with him about the studies, there is going um, he's going to get manipulated into that system, which I don't want him to get. I think manipulated is a very heavy word. Sorry. With due respect to school system, my mother is herself an educator. With due respect to the school system, but there's some kind of pressure that gets built on the mind, and you cannot stop that pressure. I'm not going to put that pressure on my child, but the child himself will feel inferior. That system makes you feel inferior if you don't fit into a certain formula. And that is one thing. Second thing, that about the failure thing, that yes, failure is a very important stepping stone to learning. We don't actually give it enough credit. When my child fails, when he's trying to put up a block, and when it falls down, only then he gets challenged to understand how else can I build it so that the tower does not fall down. But when I go and help him, no, beta, you don't you put the bigger block on the lower level, and only then it will rise. Then I'm actually taking away the chance of learning from him. This is what I realized in these meetings. And what I was going to say was about this, yes, that schooling system, that, about homeschooling, I had heard only when I read about those people or those parents who felt that school is a little bit of challenge for our children. Only then you homeschool, without realizing that homeschooling, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. We are always learning on the go. Just yesterday, because we had that informal Jagriti meeting without the teachers, we were, you know, yes, the mice were what is that? The mice were making hay when the cat is away. वो वाला scene था क्या? We Prashant said something about this thing, that we were talking about cooking and learning and all, and Prashant and I, we were discussing something about cooking, that how I assess myself while cooking. So I have learned a lot in my 6 years of marriage, how I'm cooking and all, and I have improved. I was a pathetic cook, and now I can cook decent meals for people. So I realized that how am I assessing myself? I did not realize it until Prashant said that. How do you assess yourself? I assess myself, okay, if people are taking seconds, then I've done a decent job. Next time I'll remember it, that okay, this is what I did in that dish, so I have to remember that. And this is what open learning is all about, is what I'm realizing coming to these meetings and looking at my child. So just wanted to share that.
Manvi, since you brought about this word manipulation, I want to you're giving me that opportunity. So I don't shy away from saying that schools and colleges manipulate in many subtle ways. And I only say to people, see, you're choosing to buy that manipulation. So I don't want to shy away from saying that schools don't manipulate. I will immediately clearly say schools manipulate or colleges manipulate. And my own personal experience, I went to an MBA college, a top premier college of the country. And those 2 years, I saw everybody in my batch manipulated to think money, money and money, right? How much I can make more for myself and my company and my shareholders. Forget shareholders, actually myself, right? Because I am the biggest shareholder. So it was so much, that environment was all about which job you get, how much that job is paying, and how much are you rising. And it was like totally about money. Isn't that manipulation? Meaning, aren't these colleges trying to say that go about, rip everybody as a customer and make the most of your company? That is your end goal. It got so much into our psyche. We got so much manipulated that it took me some time to come out of it and say, no, I don't want to do that. Right. And so I'm saying, yes, the MBA colleges manipulate us to think in terms of wealth, monetary wealth, and whatever shareholder wealth, whatever wealth you want to name it as, economic wealth, nothing else, right? They don't necessarily make you more grounded citizens or more connected with your whatever society and so on and so forth. They don't give any importance. So to that extent, they are manipulating. And the people who are going to MBA college should go with that cognizance that I am going to get manipulated. Right? No MBA advertisement say we will manipulate you to become rich and famous, right? They put it the other way around. You will get a top job in the top company. They put it that way, which is nothing wrong. They will obviously put it that way. But I'm just trying to make a point that there's nothing wrong with manipulation. Okay, people do manipulate. Let us be aware what choice we are making. We're making a choice to get manipulated, which is fair enough. Right? If I'm going to a dosa shop and saying, okay, feed me the dosa that you have made, knowing that you would have put something in the batter which will make it more fluffier, then I am making that choice, isn't it? I could have made my own dosa at home, but I'm saying to the market that give me a more adulterated dosa in that sense. So why should I shy away from saying that restaurant must be mixing it something in it to make it that much more fluffier? Right. So I'm there. I'm there. So I'm with you. It is manipulation, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, this makes sense. And sorry, I'm cutting off somebody. I just want to add one more thing, small thing. I had a very intense discussion, 1.5 hour discussion I had with my mother last week, and she asked me a bunch of questions. And at that moment, I was not actually ready with answers, and I was quite tongue-tied on several of those questions. Later on, I discussed with my husband, and there was another 1.5 hour brainstorming session, and I got answers to all those questions. One of the things that stuck with me was her question about what is the data, what is the statistics that you have that how successful are homeschoolers? And I asked her, what do you mean by success? What do you mean when you say success? And what you said, na, same thing. Success for general society means, are they earning enough money? And I don't know why that is such it irks me also, because I also have come from the same system, that I have hampered myself a lot because of this thing, that no, I have to earn money. What I wanted, I digress myself for that. No, you should not want it. You should want this, because this is the only thing that is going to give you money later on. How can money be the end goal of my life? I don't understand. And we teach that to our children. That is height. So just wanted to share that this question comes to people when you talk to them about homeschooling. They say that how will he be successful if he doesn't give exams? How is he going to face the pressures of life? I said, he's going to face pressures of life anyways. He's going to learn from the pressures of life, not because of giving exams. Yeah, this is literally, somebody told me, how will he deal with pressures of life if he does not know how to deal with pressures of exam? I did not know what to answer to that person. So one of you give me an answer. How can a child learn pressures of life when he doesn't know pressures
You
of
already
exam?
answered it already. You said the pressures of life will help me learn how to live. You already said that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just wanted to add. for both the things which we are discussing about, first of all, about school, the failure. This has actually happened. Till 4th, my son has gone to the school. Last year only we have taken him out and decided to have the open learning. Before that, from, you can say, I remember from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th class, when we go to PTM parents meet, so he always get that A+, every subject A+, and I'm very happy. I'll be true with that. I'm happy. Oh, he has done so A+. So one time my husband told me, just go to every desk and check the papers. Every child will have A+. Only 1 or 2 will have B+. All the childs will have A+. And I said, let me check. Then I went to all the papers, and every child except 2 children out of how many, 35 kids, 2 children were there who have B+ and all others were having A+. Then I very carefully checked the papers of my kid and I told, मैंने तो ये नहीं पढ़ा था, तो how come you know the answer of this one? So he said कि बाद में, when we were going out, just leave just now, and then when we were coming, tell me, when I didn't teach you that, how come you know the answer? I leave the questions, everybody leaves जिनको जो नहीं आता, and teacher comes and tell, okay, write this answer. Okay, now write on this. This is the true thing. Trust me, this happened to my child, and me and my husband were shocked and quiet for a while. What to answer? What to say to him? So this has actually happened in school. So how you know? And inside I'm very happy, and my child got A+. He knows everything. No. And you cannot go parallel to school and open learning, because there is a lot of pressure. Like every time a child gets A+, and when he doesn't know now, till it's going to be 1 year, my son is damn scared of exams. You name the word exam and he's gets so much of nervous. Oh, exam, please, what will I do if you'll take my exam? Like at present, he want to study science, something, sun, moon, sun, soil, some of the things in science. So I said, Kacha, I have explained you this. Now let me ask you how much you have understood. Then you get nervous. You are going to take my exam? So no, I'm not taking your exam. Just I wanted to know how much did you understand. No, you are taking my exam. Please don't take my exam. He gets so nervous by the name of exam only. So it's been 1 year that he's not giving any exam, nothing, but back of his mind, exam is a big thing for him. And he gets damn nervous. And trust me, like you were saying, Manvi, about like you have a session with your mother. Yesterday only, I also had a session with one of our friends. They are lawyers. And after many years, we've been meeting them, and they came to know that we are doing a homeschooling. First of all, so they were saying, it's such a big decision you have taken. Hats off to you. How can you do this? Now, after that, all the questions come. How you decide that he is going to the next class? Because he is not going to a next class. We are not sending him, we are not making him, okay, you have studied now 5th, now go to the next 6th class. Then what about the exams? Because he's not going to give. If he wants to give, okay, fine, we'll arrange for that. But at present, he is damn nervous about the exams. So, okay, then what will be his future? All these questions, and trust me, my husband simply says, yeah, he goes to, because he wants to avoid all the questions. He simply says, I don't want to answer any question. It's my decision, my son, it's okay. And I don't want to explain everybody about each and everything. But for me, I do explain. And I think somehow I become more power, I get more power कि नहीं, अब तो homeschooling करना ही है, no matter what. अब तो करना है. जितने question पूछो, I want it to go. I want to prove. I don't know why, but I want to prove that, okay, my decision is right decision for my son. That's all. So yeah, yesterday also, then they can, if he wants to become somewhat a doctor, like, okay, he can. Acha, lawyer, then you are there, I'll send him to you. So you can teach him. So
That's a good one.
You became a lawyer. Whatever you studied, how much when till practicing, how much that comes? To get the 50%. Then 50% when you are doing it practically, then only it came na to you. To get the yes, this is my answer. Let him decide now what he wants to do. Abhi bahut time hai. So this is that all these questions makes me more okay. Home learning is very good thing. Very good thing.
Thanks, Shika, for sharing so openly. Okay, so we have about 10-12 minutes. Typically we end by 6:30. So if anybody you still have questions about open learning or thoughts, most welcome. But if you have specific questions about Aarohi, you can also ask that, which I promise we'll take it towards the end. So yeah, you can ask those questions also.
I have one question.
Yeah, Chaitra.
If I put my son in Aarohi, if he is going on a wrong route or like any misbehavior or anything, who will take care of that? Because it's open learning and everybody is in learning mode only.
Okay, so let me start with your first statement. So you don't put the child in Aarohi. The child is not a place where you put the child, right? It's first of all a community, and it's a community of families. So family joins Aarohi, right? You join Aarohi. You don't. It's not like a system where you put and now the system will process and create an output. It's not like that, right? The child is as a family. You're joining other families like Manvi families or Shikha's family or Geeta Shri's family and other families or Dwiji's family, and we are all together. Kind of living, and we could be living anywhere, as any part of the world. It is not that you have to be physically together. And yes, I guess we all misbehave, we all behave. Because we behave, we misbehave, right? And we all do wrong things, and we all both learn from our own reflection, which is perhaps the most important. And we also learn from feedback of each other. So when somebody, forget the child, I do something which is, let's say, not appropriate, somebody, either I would think by the end of the day or end of the week, but in many cases, I may not be able to, let's say, catch it, then somebody would give me that feedback. Hey, you are being this way, or you are being that way, and do you think that is good for you, or do you think that is good for you? And that will help me again reflect back on myself and then see what I want to do about it. And that is what is open learning in a way. Yeah. So in open learning, we are not differentiating subjects and hobbies and personal development as different things. They're all part of my life, whether it's my social behavior, whether it's my language, whether it's how I take care of my hygiene, or whether it's my way of or my understanding of, let's say, the world around me, or science, or anything for that matter, clothes or environment. Everything is part of my life. And as Vijay was also mentioning, so open learning is not about these. We don't separate things out. These are all part of our living. And yeah, I choose what to interact with. Somebody may spend more time with, let's say, fashion. Somebody may spend more time with making things. Somebody may spend more time with music. It's just a matter of each individual's choice.
Okay.
So I don't know if I've answered your question, but yeah, basically, yeah, that is the, in fact, if any child or any adult is not doing anything wrong, there's no fun or failure in it, right? So we will ensure that everybody does something wrong. Because that is the essence of learning, right?
Yeah, I'm catching the concept, but it is a little hard to come out of that beliefs that I'm putting the child there and you will make that one statue and give me back those things. Yeah, now I'm getting that child will grow with us. That is the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I had a question about Aarohi X. So because I
mhm.
live in Delhi,
Sure.
my coming to Bangalore, maybe I can come to Bangalore, or rather we as a family can come to Bangalore maybe once a year or
Sure,
something like
sure,
that.
sure.
So I don't know how to put this question across. I mean, how effective do you think this? My son is 3.5 years old. He's least interested in talking with family also on the phone. He likes, like, he wants to physically meet people. So for him, I doubt he is going to have any interaction with people.
Sure, sure.
Or maybe if he sees us interacting with people, he might also get interested in seeing what are they doing, why are they interacting. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to understand how different is this when you physically meet all of you families you meet in Bangalore, in Aarohi campus, as compared to when you are meeting online through Aarohi X platforms, what platforms you use. How different is it? Is it effective? I don't know, effective is a wrong word.
Yeah, definitely it's a wrong word, because we are not trying to create an effect, right? Something is effective
Exactly.
only if you have a desired effect. We're not trying, we're just trying to be together.
Right.
Yeah. And let me give you a simple example. Let's say you come as a family here, and your child is all running around. Let's say he's climbing trees all the time. He's not looking at anybody else. He's just busy climbing trees because suddenly he saw, oh, there are so many trees to be climbed. Right? He's least bothered about anybody else. Isn't that same as in an online? The child is never coming in front of the screen. He's not neither looking at anybody nor anybody else is looking at him. Right? So if you really look at it, it's not about the child. We somehow start with that. Okay, if you're doing it for your child, then I guess that's not really the right way to start. The best way to start is to say, I want to be part of an open learning community. Right? Whether the child gets attracted to some people in the community or some interests in the community, that will depend on the child. Much like if you say, I bring my child to the campus, but I would say, for what? But if you say then the child to do whatever he wants to do, then it's the same with in ROEX. In online, the child is doing whatever he wants to do. He wants to jump on the sofa. He's least interested in what's happening on the screen. But you may be interested in what, let's say, somebody else did, and you will say, I will do this. Now the child is seeing you doing that. How does that affect the child? That's up to the child. But again, the environment in the home becomes of two things. One is of doing, which is the core of open learning. You do what you feel like doing, whether you are a parent or a child. So the environment becomes of doing, like how Geeta Shri was talking about. Her husband started drawing, and that is what spread the fire of, let's say, drawing. And then she does her art and storytelling, and I'm sure that spreads its own. That doesn't mean that her children become storyteller. No. That is not. I am sure she also doesn't look at it that way. So the whole essence is of the environment is rich because people are doing different things. So the same thing happens even in an online space. There are different people doing different things. And let's say your child is doing some, like today, one parent posted a picture. Her child is, I think, 4 or 5. I'm not exactly remembering. And this is the Warli art my child did. And different people are responding to that. So we have a online space. We use Discord. So she posted, and different people are kind of looking at that picture and coming up with their image. Now the 4-year-old is nowhere in the picture. He drew something in his own time. Mother clicked a picture of it and uploaded, and now there is a discussion going on. Yeah, that's it. The child isn't directly neither taking away from the whole discussion, nor even expecting anything from the whole thing. He isn't even aware. Maybe his mother told him, I will put it in Discord, are you okay or not? And he might have said yes, but that's not important. More important is that he is doing in his own life, and we are together learning, exploring. Yeah. So there are, let's say, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old who may not participate. There are even 12, 13-year-olds who don't participate, but their parents fully participate. So it's not about age. It's about each one connecting with other families. And so that's how it goes. Right. It's much like how we are. Why are you here? You're here because you want to explore this more. That's why you are here. So in REX is similar, just that there we don't sit and just talk about open learning. We typically all do lots of different things. And you join in Initially, maybe your spouse will join in. Whether your child joins in or not, we don't know. In some ways, the community will help you to take the focus off your child, which is perhaps very, very important. When you're not focused on your child, then automatically the environment becomes a learning environment, because then the learning becomes, or the doing becomes more of a joy than about the child, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Got it.
Actually, and let me add it that the whole thing cannot be put in words. So while I've talked about it, it's when you join and you experience it, then it may click with you, and then you will say, I want to be part of it. Or it may not click with you, and you say, thank you very much, I'm kind of moving away from the community, which is also absent. So there are people who joined the community, moved away, they're still doing open learning, but they're not actively part of the community. And there are people who are like continuing, or new people joining it. So it's all very, very, very open, very free. People join, leave, become active, inactive, again become active. It's all because there's so many other things happening in their life and so on. And so it's all very, very, just like in campus, you can come anytime, for a week, for a month, for whatever duration you want, at any time of the year. In the same way, it's with online. There's no commitment, or there is no compulsion. Everything is very open, and you see what you want to give to the community and what you want to receive from the community.
Okay.
That was a long answer for a short question.
No, but it made a lot of things clear. And I'm sure it will help anybody who sees this video, or everybody who's here in the meeting today.
I want to add a few small incidents. We are running out of time. It's already 6:30.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So I was volunteering with Shikshantar. They have been working on this alternative education for a long time now. So there I have met many families. Those are homeschooling, and the time I was young, I was like 25, 26. I saw the kids. They're immensely talented. They are so passionate, and there were these two kids, Ajanmya and Kudrat. Now they are quite grown up. Every day I'll come to the center, and they are dressed up. Like one day they were pirates, and they have created everything out of scratch. Like whatever paper, cloth, and whatever is available, they have made this hat and this, tied one eyes, and they have made a story, and they're so responsible also while cutting and everything. Whereas in a normal school, I have been a teacher also. We are so scared. Like parents are so scared. So and teachers are also so scared to hand over a scissor or anything. Even colors also. Don't do this. Be careful. You'll mess it up and everything. And when we don't do that, when we allow kids to do their things, they're like different species. I was like, I'm till date in awe. Like, I want that for my kid. And they're all doing fine. They're all good. Some of them are working outside India and they're settled, and some are doing their stuff, but they all are fine. Ultimately, we all, like when we were kid, we went through so much of pressure. But then we turned out to be fine, and so our kids will be fine also. I feel like that. But there, we should allow them to enjoy. When I saw them, I saw those kids, their clarity in, I mean, I even don't have that much of clarity in my head. I don't know what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, and how to express. Even I can't do like those kids. When Aarohi, you showed the video, I see on YouTube also. They're just like so smart and intelligent, and they're talking like they know they already know everything. And most importantly, when we don't put them under that pressure, I don't know how to express also. Seeing those kids, and I got to learn from them. I learned more from them than I think I can teach them. And that is what attracts me to Aarohi and other centers that are working. And I want my kid to, she doesn't need to lose herself. This curriculum and this school structure, as a teacher, I know we were told to write down the answers. Yes, that happens. We are told the paper should not be blank. And if the kid is also not writing from the blackboard, we have to write using our left hand so that they cannot detect the handwriting also. We have to write the answers for them. So in that way, exactly, Shikhaji said that. But in normal class, if when I'm not judging them, and if I ask them something, I'm just like, let's draw this or do this addition, even the students who are below average, who are not scoring even 5 marks or anything, they are doing wonderful. Once we take them out of that judgmental thing, they are all talented. I just
Surely, yeah,
wanted to, yeah.
sure. I think that's a perfect ending for today's meetup. Yes, the fact that they are all talented, just that they are all talented in their own ways. We don't need to pull them all to the same scale and say you are more and you are less. That's exactly the whole point. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So awesome. So that's like perfect ending. Yes, yes, Manvi.
So sorry, I wanted to say something that just before it ended, because she said about clarity, no, Jolly said about clarity. I just realized something, that we associate clarity with future. And often when we talk about clarity, we think about those kids who know that I have to do medical, and then after medical I have to give Falana exam, and then after that I have to do MBBS from this and this college, and that is what we call as clarity. Whereas when I see that video of Aarohi kids, and I realize, my God, they actually know what they want to do. One kid said, I like to sit and chat with friends. That is clarity of mind. This is not clarity of mind that what he wants to do in future, because we don't know what the future holds. And we have a very misconstrued sense of clarity as a society.
Yeah, like knowing about what we are going to do after 25 years, after 30 years. I mean, what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jolly. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shikha.
Thank you, everybody.
Dipesh. Yeah, thank you.
All. Thank you.
So we meet every Saturday to hop in whichever Saturday you want to hop in, and we can continue to interact. Yeah. And if you want anything specific, details about Aarohi or anything, you can connect with me offline. Yeah, you can give me a call or you can send me a mail. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice weekend.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Same
you.
to you.